Yes, thank you very much for your introduction and also for the invitation to talk to you today. And these are my disclosures. Sex differences are well documented in most aspects of heart failure, in etiology, in risk factors, in pathophysiology, comorbidities, as well as in heart failure phenotypes and in prognosis. And as the title says, I will focus mostly on differences in risk factors and symptoms. So if we look at a recent publication from the PREVENT cohort in Groningen in the Netherlands, they follow this community-based cohort, 8,558 women and men, for 25 years of follow-up, and for development of heart failure with reduced ejection fraction, HFrEF, and heart failure with preserved ejection fraction, HFpEF. And what they found was that the lifetime risk of heart failure in general is the same in women and men, and they found that this was 24%. But if you look in the upper corner, you see here on your right side that although it was 24% in both genders, men had threefold higher risk of HFrEF, while the risk in women for heart failure was equal for HFrEF and HFpEF. So also they identified 8 risk factors, traditionals, and comorbidities, and looked at the population attributable fraction of these factors. And they looked at hypertension, smoking, obesity, hypercholesterolemia, and diabetes mellitus, all well-known risk factors for heart failure, and the comorbidities myocardial infarction, atrial fibrillation, and chronic kidney disease. And what they found, you can see in the lower right corner of this slide, they found that these 8 factors contributed more to explain heart failure in women than in men, and this was true both for heart failure with preserved and reduced ejection fraction. When we look to the Swedish heart failure registry, this study was based on nearly 43,000 women and men, covering 54% of prevalent heart failure in Sweden at the time between 2000 and 2012. And they looked at what is the percentage of women in the 3 different subtypes of heart failure. And as you can see in the figure, that women constituted 29% of patients with HFrEF, 39% of patients with heart failure with mid-range ejection fraction, and 55% of patients with heart failure with preserved ejection fraction. Women also had better prognosis in all these heart failure subtypes. And if we look into their numbers, you see that women had 20% lower risk of death, this was all-cause mortality, and heart failure hospitalization over 12 years in the group of HFrEF. In the group of heart failure with mid-range ejection fraction and heart failure with preserved ejection fraction, 9% and 7% lower event, all-cause mortality combined with heart failure hospitalization in women compared to men. And this is despite women being older, having more hypertension, more comorbidities, including lower renal function in heart failure. So this table I took from the current guidelines of heart failure issued by the European Society of Cardiology in 2021. And here we have listed the typical symptoms of heart failure, like dyspnea, like fatigue, reduced exercise tolerance, and ankle swellings. And what we find in women with heart failure is, in general, they are more symptomatic, but it is particularly orthopnea and paroxysmal nocturnal dyspnea that is more commonly reported by female patients. Heart failure symptoms are often more neglected both by patients and also by health providers in women compared to men. So you can think about a quite typical female patient with heart failure. She is obese, she is older or elderly, she has knee and hip problems, she is not very physically active, and of course this woman has long time ago explained her dyspnea from these comorbidities and this lifestyle. And the GP might play along with this, and she will not be referred for specialized health care. And this is quite common in Norway, and I'm sure it's quite common where you practice. Traditional risk factors like hypertension, diabetes, smoking, and obesity all have a relative higher risk for heart failure. Hypertension, threefold higher risk of heart failure, twofold in men, diabetes, fivefold higher relative risk in women compared to twofold in men, obesity, particularly strong risk factor for HFpEF in women, and smoking also stronger and more potent risk factor in female patients versus males. But in women there are also quite a few untraditional or non-traditional and female-specific risk factors. This has been a focus of many recent publications. So think about iron deficiency and anemia, quite common in women, and it affects immune function and cell metabolism. Think about autoimmune diseases. 7 out of 10 patients with these disorders is female. So this is associated with a chronic systemic cardiovascular inflammation. And think about pregnancy complications, the most investigated preeclampsia, which induces a chronic systemic cardiovascular inflammation that doesn't go away after delivery. So this promotes early hypertension and early cardiovascular disease in these women. And preeclampsia, it affects 3 to 5% of all pregnancy, so it's not very rare. In this study, a Mendelian randomization study based on data in the Women's Health Initiative, they looked at associations of the adverse pregnancy outcomes with heart failure. And as you can see in the graph, gestational diabetes, low or high birth weight, or preterm delivery were not associated with increased risk of heart failure. But hypertensive disorders of pregnancy were associated with a 75% higher risk of heart failure, also when adjusted for traditional risk factors. And what is interesting is that 2/3 of this risk was explained or attributed to hypertension, increased body mass index, and coronary artery disease. But 1/3 was attributed to having a hypertensive disorder of pregnancy itself. A quite recent publication came out now in Heart, and this was based on the women in the UK Biobank study, and it looked at the population attributable fraction of heart failure risk factors. And these women, more than 233,000, were followed for nearly 14 years, and they assessed 22 specified risk factors that were grouped into traditional, to female-specific, and under-recognized. And the female-specific included early age, at menarche, at first birth, at menopause, or pregnancy complication, and chronic inflammatory disease. The under-recognized risk factors included depression, anxiety, low socioeconomic status, high deprivation, and air pollution measured by PM 2.5 level. I was invited to comment on this in an editorial that just came out, and we looked at the spectrum and attributable burden of risk factors for heart failure, and we summed this up in this figure. So in the UK Biobank, 46% of heart failure was explained by traditional risk factors, while 15.5% was explained by female-specific risk factors, and 25.5% by under-recognized risk factors. So to me, this points to that heart failure is more difficult to prevent in women and also maybe more difficult to treat. So, Chair, ladies and gentlemen, these are the key messages. The lifetime heart failure risk is similar in women and men, but women are less likely to develop HFrEF and more likely to develop HFpEF. Women have better prognosis irrespective of the type of heart failure, but they are more symptomatic. Traditional risk factors and comorbidity may explain up to 60 or 70% of female heart failure risk in recent publications, while female-specific and under-recognized risk factors might explain up to 40% of female heart failure risk. So I thank you very much for your attention.